Hi everyone, hi again. This is Donatas from Operational Marketing Department in Teltonika Telematics company. And I'm a product manager, and today I'm also your host on this webinar. I'm excited to have you all there. So thank you for joining us today in our first webinar this year, which is dedicated this time for our new small OBD devices. Why we're here in more detail. This webinar comes with some great news. We launched mass production of our new small OBD devices, and this is the reason of our event, to inform you that we're ready to move on and tell what good things happened in the development of these products during past several months. Our agenda for today is this. First of all, I will break down what comes under this name, like small OBD, what it is, what is this small OBD device. I will give you an overview of key features of these small OBD devices. Also, for someone who already had samples from the last year, like summer or autumn, I will explain what new things we have on these units and somewhat new features and what new things we developed. And after that, I will take a deeper dive into FMB003 solution, and I will overview our currently supported vehicles, data, and what we can do together to improve it. I mean, us as a Teltonika Telematics and you as our partners. This presentation will take like 20 or 25 minutes more, and after that we'll proceed with Q&A session. And during this session, I will have with me my colleagues, our core of small OBD product development team, Paulius, Ignas, and Pavel, and they will join us during this Q&A session, and they will also they will answer your questions during this presentation. So please use the Q&A window, type in your questions. We'll try to answer as much as possible during this presentation, so you can put those questions anytime you want. And after this product presentation, as I said, we will try to cover as many of these questions as possible. So let's dive in. So first of all, what is a small OBD device? And my explanation is very simple. First of all, this is an OBD device, and this OBD devices, for example, some older model of OBD like FMB001 or FMB010, or also CAT1, CAT-M1 devices, OBD devices. And so this is an OBD device, and this is a small OBD device. And of course, it's not just a form factor, but more on that later. Now just let's keep up with some definitions. Now that you know how to distinct OBD device and a small OBD device, but what actual units comes under this name, under this definition, small OBD device. So here goes. First of all, it is FMB020 device, also FMB002 and FMB003. And it's not just a dongle. I mean, for some, this might be obvious, but from time to time, we have some doubts coming up. Due to its ultra small casing, some might think that it's just some Bluetooth low energy accessory, which goes as an add-on to other trackers. But do not be mistaken. All small OBD devices are fully functional standalone GSM GNSS trackers with Bluetooth low energy support. And also all devices comes with small internal battery. OBD is the main connector on these devices, and also we have a USB connector. Just for some, to continue this topic, moving on to key features of all new small OBD devices, I stress once again that it has full connectivity. It means it has 2G, GNSS, and Bluetooth low energy connectivity. Also, this device is ultra small. In this small box, we managed to fit great functionality, and this decision was based on some of your feedback that common OBD tracker might not be too convenient in some cases when doing installation. So I'm quite sure that with this one, you will have such kind of occasions less and less. And as a visual representation, I have two devices with me, so you can see how small it is. This is our older device, and something what you would consider and think about as a standard OBD device. And this is a small OBD device. So you can see how small this one is. The other big thing about OBD, which is great, is that it is a real plug-and-play device, and you do not need to spend great amount of time installing it. This also provides a possibility to install devices by end users, and this opens up some great possibilities for emerging B2C markets. And also, it can help you to keep on selling even on this pandemic situation and all the movement restrictions, which we are still facing, and we are going to face for some time in the future. So, and at last, we have full FMB platform functionality in this small box. So it means that you can use an advantage of various already implemented scenarios and smart features because they are there in this device. Moment. All these features which I just described, they are common in all three devices. But what are those distinctive features of each unit? So FMB020 is the most simple solution and the most practical solution, let's call it like that. It supports basic functionality, but I guess basic should be said in maybe some kind of quotation marks, because I already told you what this basic is, and I'm quite sure that this basic is going to cover quite many use cases and scenarios in your business ventures. But what is so special about it? So it's simple. It's the most practical solution of all three, which means that the price is simply the best. In case you do not need OBD data or some more smart features, this is your go-to device, I'm quite sure. Next member of our all small OBDs family is FMB002. And it supports everything what was just said, what I just said. And in addition to this, it has one huge additional value. It supports standard OBD2 data. It means that you can get such parameters using this device like vehicle identification number, number of faults, engine data, coolant temperature, fuel injection value, some fuel pressure, engine time, and etc. In total, 32 different parameters, and all these parameters you can find in our wiki page, and you can ask your sales manager to share this information with you. The little problem is that you cannot get all the parameters from all the vehicles. I mean, you cannot get all 32 parameters from all the vehicles. Also, you are not guaranteed that you will receive some parameters, for example, from a couple of Skoda Octavias, which are the same year. So the power of parameters is strong in this one, but it is quite unique on each case, and it's not possible to document it well. Speaking about data which we can actually document, we come to this one, to FMB003. FMB003 is our most anticipated solution and a flagman OBD device. I'm sure that very soon it will join ranks of our other bestsellers like FMB020 or FMB020. And the main reason for that, it's distinctive feature and capability to read specific OEM OBDII data. So what is so different about this data if we compare it with some standard OBDII data? I call it this data as confident data, which gives you confidence. And it means that it goes with the supported vehicles and a supported data list. And you are guaranteed that you will get specific data from specific vehicles. It means that if we know how to read this data from a particular vehicle, we're sure we can read this data from all other vehicles of the same make model generation and years, for example, for Volkswagen Golf 7. And now we provide a possibility to read two specific OEM data parameters, like real fuel level data and real odometer data, which I guess are covering many use cases and scenarios. For example, business and private mode monitoring, pay-as-you-drive use case, car rental, and many more. And more on this supported data and supported vehicles, I will get back a little bit later. But before moving on, I just want to stress that FMB003 also supports standard OBD2 data. So it's a full package, it's a wholesome solution. It has everything what other small OBD devices have, and also it supports specific OEM OBD2 data reading. Now, what's new? What's new on these small OBD devices if you compare with the ones which we manufactured in autumn or summer? So, first of all, small casing is now even smaller than it was, and device now is less than 5 centimeters in length. It solves some issues related with some vehicles. For example, we had some issues with installations on particular Audi or Skoda models, and we fixed that. Also, device comes with improved performance of GSM and GNSS, and now it works better on harsh environmental conditions and some harsh conditions like remote areas, well, where the GSM signal might not be so good. And also FMB003 device specifically, it comes now with additional CAN lines, which allows us to read data from some additional vehicles. And a couple of good examples are Fiat Doblo and Fiat Ducato, which I consider as a must to be supported devices for many applications. To continue with supported vehicles, we are moving on now to part dedicated exactly and specifically for FMB003 device. So currently we have 158 vehicles on our supported vehicles list. And I just want to give you some perspective what it means, how many is this 158 vehicles. So let me explain what we consider a one supported vehicle. So one supported vehicle is a vehicle of particular make, model, and generation. So for example, Volkswagen Golf 7 would be on a supported vehicles list as a one entry, but this vehicle is being manufactured for 6 years. We do not, let's say, make 6 different lines in the supported vehicles list for this model. It's just the one line. To put it on other different perspective, after our estimations, we come to a conclusion that currently we are supporting 32% of vehicles on European markets, which we consider as interesting vehicles to approach and to sell this OBD tracker. Interesting, it means that we consider them interesting year-wise. So in this calculation and this consideration, we take vehicles which are made on 2010 or later. And it is not percentage of supported models. It's a percentage of actual vehicles riding on European roads. It means that Volkswagen Golf has a bigger weight in our function than, for example, some Jaguar model. So our commitment to you is to double this number during next 6 months. We plan to add 5% to this index each month. And one short notice on electric vehicles, we're working on that, and I hope that we will be able to offer some models of EV next month. Now, supported data. Currently, we're offering a package of 2 specific parameters. It's real fuel level data and real odometer data. So, real odometer, we're currently reading odometer value from 95% of supported vehicles from our supported vehicles list. And other parameter, fuel level, for this parameter we use 2 values. Actual fuel level on vehicle in liters and remaining fuel level in percentage. So value in liters is more common, and we extract it from roughly 70% of all vehicles which we have on our supported vehicles list. Percentage, on the other hand, we get from 1/3 of all vehicles which are on our list. So one or another or both at the same time, we receive from 97% of vehicles on our supported vehicles list. Short introduction about how this solution actually works, this FMB003 solution and this sophisticated specific OEM OBD2 data reading solution. So first of all, we identify your vehicle model by using vehicle identification number. So we use this number and we identify what is the make, model and year of this vehicle. And then we choose a correct configuration for this particular vehicle model. We upload it to your device remotely and you start getting data. In the majority of cases, this process is automatic because we can read VIN number. But in some cases, VIN might not be available. So you can put it on a configurator manually. And so it works like this. From after this moment, when you put a VIN manually or you put VIN automatically, the process becomes automatic. It's just that we need to see VIN in order to choose the correct configuration for you. As you might already understand, this solution requires a significant amount of time, energy to develop. It is much harder to develop than to read just a standard OBD2 data. That is why this solution is so special. You need to work on each vehicle model and not just a data protocol for something like a standard OBD2 data or for some data protocol for a big pool of vehicles. And also there is a complicated backend system included, which works as a VIN number decoder. And I think you understand where I'm heading to. I mean, for this reason, we're limiting amount of configuration downloads per device from 3 different vehicles, like with 3 different VINs. After you test one unit with, after you use it with one unit with 3 vehicles, that's it. You will not be able to send any more configuration to that device. And we are working on a licensing system which will allow you to purchase additional configurations. So stay tuned, we'll provide you a solution soon. Now, roadmap and wish list. What are we going to do? So what you can expect from us in the nearest future. So as I already mentioned you, we're continuously working on adding new vehicles to our supported vehicles list. And our commitment to you is to reach 70% supported vehicles in Europe by third quarter this year. According to our estimations, this will cover almost everything what is interesting to you as a telematics service provider, because remaining 20-30% vehicles will be some like niche vehicles which are not subject of tracker installation, like some Jaguar, Ferrari or Porsche vehicles. And also we're working on a solution which will help us to read data from Peugeot and Citroën vehicles, which is quite anticipated by some of you, as I know. Also, we're getting more and more inquiries to support vehicles outside Europe, and we're looking to that and we're preparing for it. And as soon as movement restrictions will lift, we will be able to start working harder on that and offer some vehicle support outside Europe. I will not get into much specifics here, but we're also working on the additional network support. So stay tuned. We will inform you as soon as we have some significant progress. And I'm talking here about some new markets and new networks like CAT or CAT-M1. In order to move on with the most wanted vehicles, we always rely on our partners. So please inform your sales manager who you're working with what vehicles you would like to see on our supported vehicles list. We will add them to our wish list, and it will help us to shape our roadmap, and eventually they will appear on our supported vehicles list. And for those who might not know that, and for others who know this, I want to remind one very important thing. Normally, in order to add vehicle on our supported vehicles list, we need to connect to it directly, make some complicated analysis, and then develop the solution. But we are already in a such development phase, and we have such know-how, which lets us do this process remotely with vehicles which are quite well known to us. And quite well known vehicles are, what I mean by this, they are European vehicles, vehicles used in Europe. So in case you have a vehicle at your premises and you want it to be supported, please inform your sales manager and we might do it together with you. So we call it remote engineering, and you can be a part of it. So once again, if you have vehicle at your premises, this vehicle is not on our supported vehicles list, contact your sales manager and we will try to make it work remotely. And as I mentioned before, more news are coming up soon. So we will keep you updated on everything new, what pops up. And so stay tuned. And the easiest way to stay tuned is just to follow us on social media or subscribe to our newsletter. When talking about social media, so you can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So just try Teltonika Telematics on the search window and follow us. As we're reaching the end of this product presentation, I want to get back to all three devices from FMB003. So short reminder card. All three devices share standard OBD platform functionality, also GSM, GNSS and Bluetooth connectivity, OBD2 port connector, internal battery, and all this in this ultra small casing. FMB002 on top of that is capable to read standard OBD2 data, 32 parameters, depending on vehicle, of course. And FMB003 on top of all of this, OEM OBDII data, which is real fuel level and real odometer data. Production and shipments, not too much to say about this because it's very simple. We have devices and we are going to produce them continuously, so feel free to order. And just a couple notes on orders are this. We do not have limitations on quantity anymore as we had for some time in autumn and summer. So just order as many as you want. Also, samples and singles comes in a minimum order quantity. And more economic transport-wise and more nature-friendly bulk packaging comes in MOQ of 20. So once again, very bold statement. Just feel free to contact your sales manager and order now. Get some samples, try them out, get some pilot orders, and let's make this thing rolling.